It's the first new walker to be added to Last Oasis, but is the Mollusk all it's cracked up to be, or is it just another walker destined to be hauled and looted? My name is Codiak, and today we head back into the Oasis to put the Mollusk walker to the test in our Last Oasis in-depth series. The Mollusk is the first new walker to be implemented into the game since launch, and it adds a whole new dynamic into the mix. The Mollusk is on the small end of the spectrum when comparing it against the likes of the Tusker or Smitterling, but what it lacks in size it makes up for in efficiency and practicality. The Mollusk features the game's first enclosed cabin, which is inaccessible to other players until the ship is hulled, that is, until the body of the ship is unlocked by enemy players. The ship can be piloted from the lower deck, but visibility becomes a slight issue. You do have some visibility from every direction, but elements of the ship obstruct certain angles. As a ship, it sits close to the ground and maintains a relatively low profile while out in the Oasis, which means it's a less visible target. But it does feature a number of upgrades we'll discuss shortly that make it stand out from other walkers. As we previously speculated, the Mollusk has a very low bar to entry. The base walker cost is a mere 27 fragments, easily farmable by any solo player. The first tier of the upgrades, the bone upgrades, are also accessible at just 20 fragments. However, once you get past the base build and bone upgrades, things begin to ramp up. Each of the remaining upgrades will cost a tablet or two. Here again, this is very doable for solo players if they can find one of the random fabricators that spawn around hard tiles. The first option is Armored Legs, which improves armor status of the legs to hard and increase the base HP. Additionally, you have the option to pick up Small Walker Wings, and for the first time in the game, Heavy Walker Wings. There is a huge misconception when it comes to wings that size means speed, but that couldn't be further from the truth. At this point in the game, there are only two speeds, base level and upgraded. Each variation of wings brings a different added benefit to the table. Small wings offer increased speed, medium wings offer increased speed and generate a decent amount of torque, and heavy wings offer increased speed and increased HP. We personally like the heavy wings. It still provides us with the upgraded movement speed, but the added HP means we'll be able to hold out a bit longer in a fight. Of course, there are also the ceramic and iron upgrades, which are key to increasing various components of your walker like cargo size, water storage, and more. First and foremost, it's the only walker in the game capable of encasing a player. A lower deck provides 360 degrees of protection at the cost of some visibility. The lower deck is accessed by a top hatch that swings both downwards and upwards, as well as a back door that gives players quick access to the lower deck. Players can also place the steering levers on the lower deck, protecting them but limiting visibility. The Mollusk also features a low center of gravity, which means flipping it is a challenge. This is especially good for solo players that have a difficult time navigating terrain. Because of this low center of gravity, players can access the cargo hold and pack-based features from the ground. One of the good features about the upgraded wings is that they sit nearly parallel to the ground. This is much different than the 90 or 45 degree angles for most walker wings, and it helps the Mollusk keep a low profile. Finally, the Mollusk is built with a number of interesting accents that allow for optimal grapple points and some unique defensive emplacements. In terms of baseline stats, the Mollusk is on par with the Stiletto. It falls just short of the Stiletto's body HP, but the legs and wings are comparable. One of the biggest advantages the Mollusk has over the Stiletto is the armored legs, which increase the armor type to hard, making it a sturdier target. Another advantage of the Mollusk is the heavy wings, which increase the HP of that walker part substantially. This is another aspect of the walker that the Stiletto doesn't have access to. It's a clear trade-off between speed and survivability. Across the board, the Mollusk and the Stiletto are virtually the same. With the bone upgrades installed, the cargo and water storage are identical, and the slight gap between body HP of the Mollusk and the Stiletto is still negligible. The Mollusk is designed around solo and small group play. It does have ample deck space, superior to the dinghy, and fairly comparable to the Stiletto. The lower deck provides players with enough space to store some chests, or even a workstation or two. The more you pack down there, the harder it is to move around, but it's a great place to store valuables. Up top, there is plenty of room for multiple people to walk around. The center spine of the ship is wide enough that you can place ballistas or repeaters, and the S shape gives you some additional deck space to play with. The accent bar above the clamshell is a great place to attach grapple points, as they're highly visible from the ground and give players a quick and easy way to get on board. Additionally, the long tail of the mollusk can be used to varying degrees, but the most common use will be to attach more grapple points. In terms of handling, the mollusk delivers across the board. It's not quite turn on a dime, but in terms of lateral movement, this walker is amongst the best. One of the benefits of the mollusk is the clamshell front that prevents it from getting caught on objects or getting caught when going over hills, unlike walkers like the toboggan. In terms of vertical movement, it seems to ignore most laws of physics like other walkers in the game, but does struggle to get up any sort of incline even with the help of torque. Finally, in terms of stopping, it's decent. There is a noticeable delay when trying to stop from full speed, but compared to some other walkers, it's just fine. When it comes to speed, the mollusk is a step down from the stiletto and the dinghy. Without the wing upgrade, you'll find that the walker feels sluggish. Unfortunately, after extensive testing, we determined that the wing upgrades are either not working or not implemented. When testing two mollusks, one with base wings and another with upgraded wings, the vehicles were unaffected. Likewise, mobility upgrades did nothing in terms of impacting speed. In our comparison, the base level walker has no upgrades, while our quality walker has the bone upgrades. As you can see, no change is present. These upgrades are meant to have a big impact on the field, but at this time, any upgrades that would impact the mollusk's mobility seem to do nothing. We can't speak to any other walkers at this time, but we will be doing more in-depth walker videos, so stay tuned. The mollusk is a farmer's dream, hands down. With its ample deck space, decent weight capacity, and low profile, this walker can get in and around a map without much of a problem. As the only early game walker capable of getting armored legs, it's also more robust than some of the other choices like the dinghy or stiletto. Couple that with the heavy wings and most solo players will feel more secure than ever. Unfortunately, speed is the biggest downside to the mollusk, and while you may be protected, you may not always be able to outrun your opponent. Outlast them, maybe. It's also not the best vehicle for farming fragments. It's slow and a bit clunky, and its ability to drag boxes isn't great. Will it work? Yes, but there are better walkers for that job. On a personal note, the mollusk is the perfect walker for me. It's compact, low profile, and won't turn too many heads, and that's exactly what I'm looking for when I'm out farming or making videos. The low bar to entry means every player can access this walker, and the requirements to build them aren't beyond most early game players. We hope you enjoyed this video breaking down the brand new Mollusk Walker, and if you do want more Last Oasis videos in your feed, don't forget to subscribe. Also, Legion Gaming's Last Oasis community on Discord just hit over 400 members, so if you'd like to join us as we prepare for a PvE-focused private server with a number of planned PvP events, feel free to click that link below and join us. My name is Codiak, and from everyone here at Legion Gaming, thanks for watching, and play on.